Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman, you know that vibe, tapping in with you. You just want to give a shout out, man. I just want to take a moment, just a moment with you guys, you know, Damus and Keyways, and give a, just, you know, pray for our brother, Monster Kody. Yes, he's passed on, you know what I mean? May Allah be pleased with him. Ulu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim, alhamdulillah bil alamin. Yeah, a day or so ago, the brother has moved on, and you know, whatever anybody believe or don't believe about their brother, the brother Crippen was impeccable. You know what I mean? He had some other demons that he had to overcome in his life. You know what I mean? Which we all do, some worse than others, and you know, because when he first wrote that book, 1993 May 1st, he wrote Monster. I mean, that thing hit. It hit hard. When it fell, man, a lot of people was, you know, talked about the book. Some people liked it, others disagreed with it. But then at the end of the day, nobody ever really approached him on that book in a way that they were speaking on. You know what I mean? It was like, it's out there, it's done. And actually, a lot of people even learn from that book. You know what I mean? And they may not admit that, but they did, man. The brother was actually a Juggernaut. And when I say Juggernaut, man, he just had a personality that was beyond a lot of people's scope. He was versed in Swahili, was versed in Arabic, and he just was a real brother that just learned. He learned his way in it, you know what I mean? And he kept it up, you know what I mean, for quite some time. And we was in the module, man, and seen him slap a cat up in there and knock him out, you know, and made another cat drank some pee and stuff, man. He was ruthless with it. You know, when he ran into his ops, man, he was all business. He was strictly business, you know, so, you know, can't take that from him, man. And I'm sure that's how he approached it. It's all business, man, you know. It's not personal. But anyway, if I, you know, when I think about him in comparisons, you know what I mean? I compared him with my homeboy, Baby Gangster, man. Baby Gangster in his younger days, man. Man, this dude was, you know, they were like one and the same, man, because Baby Gangster is like one of the most well-rounded Crips there is. And when I say that, from his dress, from the way he talked, his sense of style, his low riding, his pit bulls, you know, and even the calligraphy, everything about him was just, you know, just block, you know, block Crip. That it is, man. His dog's name was Deputy, and let's see, what's the other one? Majestic. Yeah, Deputy and Majestic. Two pit bulls. Yeah, they was a good time. But back to Monster, man. You know, Monster, man, he done some things that were just, you know, that was just not measurable at certain points of his life. You know what I mean? Because he, if you wasn't ready to take it as far as Monster was ready to take it, you had no business stepping into that arena with that brother, just period, because he took it real far and beyond most scope. And it was just, you know, on my part, is observable reality, you know what I mean? And I just wanted, you know, tap in with you guys, Damus and Keyways, because he was known, he became famous, you know, from that book, you know, and a lot of people have took that book, people have taught from that book, they use it in universities and all sorts of things, just to understand the anatomy and the psychology of the Crip, you know. And I'm sure they did a comparisons to whatever the blood thing was about, you know, so don't want to get too far off what I'm speaking on. But yeah, but if I had to do a comparison, Gangster, because Gangster in itself is a Juggernaut, and Gangster, he actually created the BGs, what people say BG and all that stuff, that came from him, because he was the first Baby Gangster in the 70s, you know. and he was a man child right there, you know what I mean? And he hung up with us, you know what I mean? Guys that was like 3 and 4, 5 years older than him, you know, and he held his own, much like same with Gangster. I mean, Monster, when Monster was younger, he was, you know, 13 or something, 14, he out with Tookie. Come on, man, that's unheard of, you know. So, and Gangster much like the same himself, you know. He was around during that time. So yeah, when you look at these type of guys, man, and you see that they just built for this thing, you know what I mean? And just some of them have their egos, not their egos, but their demons be bigger than others, and sometimes the demon become overwhelming, and at some point it has a real impact on their life, you know, to the degree that they become ill or they can't function at a normal capacity, you know. Whereas my homeboy Gangster, he's learned to mature and grow, you know what I mean? He had the hands, he had the pistol play, you know, he kept them goddammits, you know what I mean? And everything else that just went with that's life, that style and that life. And the same thing with Monster. Both of these guys are juggernauts, you know what I mean? And I just want to say rest in peace to Monster. You know, he came over to the neighborhood in time. You know, Mondo and the other homies, they embraced him, you know what I mean? He came over there for various reasons, you know, and that was taken care of, you know. You know where them goddammits was at. That's just the way that is, you know. It's not personal, it's just business. And we should see him up on Florence in Maine, and you know, back again when he was in 4800, slapped the cat up and then knocked him out, you know what I mean? Who was the ops, you know? But again, it wasn't personal, man. It was just business, man. And like I say, man, if you weren't willing to take it where this guy was gonna take it, you had no business getting into the arena with him, you know what I mean? Just a well-rounded dude when it came to that, you know what I mean? And he wrote that book, man. You got to understand, that book was well written, regardless of whether you like it or dislike it, or you think he was snitching, or he told too much or nothing. But I really never seen nobody get on him about that book in a way that people were talking. You know, they were doing a lot of talking, but you know, they really didn't get on him like they were saying, you know what I mean? But there was people that had disagreement, and you know, he went in there, went into the pen, you know, he embraced the CCO, learned that Swahili, immaculate in Swahili, immaculate in his Arabic. He learned, you know, he became a Muslim, Shaniko Shakur, you know. So he embraced that pretty quite well, you know what I mean? And I just want to, you know, acknowledge him for his contribution to that life, you know what I mean? Even though it's a negative, but most of us, and that's what my point, I like to come back to negatives that become positives, and sometimes they get lost in the mix-up because they can't make that transition. Unlike, you know, Monster, but Baby Gangster, my homeboy, he was able to make the transition very positive, very out. He's actually, you know, he want brothers, you know, to stop feuding, whether Damu, Kiwe, and all that, you know. He want to be a big part of that, and he should be, because he has a big hand in it, you know what I mean? You know, like I say, his equipment was impeccable, you know what I mean? He had all the things that went with being a well-rounded Crip, you know, from the sense of style, the dress, the lokes, the pit bulls was deputy and majestic, all the lowriders. Man had about 12, 13 lowriders, you know, and amongst other things, you know what I mean? So, and I just saw him just the other day going live or something, and he was talking about all the people he took care of. I was there, watched him take care, pay people with mortgages and rents, and help girlfriends and wives and different things. You know, people used to just come over there and he'd give them fistful of money and sometimes stacks of money, you know what I mean, to help people out, you know, when they was down in their luck, and you know what I mean. And I don't know if he received that same thing when he was down, you know what I mean, you know. So just want to do that, man, and recognize him, recognize my homeboy Mondo and their relationship with our brother Monster Kody. They had a relationship with that guy, and I think they probably even learned from each other, you know what I mean, and learn how to be the best version of whatever that was, that thing, that phenomenon we know as Crip or Kiwe. You know, it was just because the environment was conducive for it for the 70s, 80s, you know, because we really didn't know no better. We thought that we were really, you know, in a sense, protecting our neighborhoods, or protecting ourselves from actual enemies or something, but they weren't enemies. We just didn't understand the dynamics of things that we were engaging in. And a lot of times we really missed the point, and a lot of people lost their lives, pointless, you know, senseless, you know. And now we're seeing that, and we want to try to fix and repair that. But how do we do that? You know, how do we actually do that? You know, what does that look like? You know, so I often talk to Gangsta, I talk to Twin, I talk to Mondo. You know, these are some of the guys that we were in a circle. You know what I mean? We was in a circle of trust. You know, along with Turtle, Big Bus, Cal, you know, shit. Big Rock was in it, you know, Lil Pete, you know, countless of guys. You know, I can't name all my homies, you know, of course, Kizzy, you know, Bad Habit Rabbit, you know, Willa Rated, just, and shit, man, just a countless of homies, you know what I mean, that was in that circle of trust. We were actually like a family. Bay Rob, Bullet, Ken, you know, Perry, you know, Hub, T-Bone, you know, it's a lot of people, man, you know, and I don't want to leave nobody out, but if I didn't name you, you know you got my love and you belong to that family, that phenomenon known as Santana, you know what I mean? So we just want to give our condolences to the brother, you know, may Allah be pleased with him, and may he go on to, you know, whatever it is on the other side that's awaits, you know. So once again, Professor Melly Mill, the Hood Postman, you know the vibe, and you go on and quick and like, subscribe, and share these videos, man. You know what I mean? I don't like to think that I'm wasting our time. I got plenty of stories. It's just that a lot of time I don't find the time, or I'm just tired because I'm in this truck. But when I do, and I feel moved to do it, it's Wisdom Wednesday, you know what I mean? So I got to do that. You know, the wisdom is, you know, the only limitations anyone ever have is the one they place on themselves, or they allow others to place on them. So we fashion this life, what we have, with our own two hands. Whatever life you have, you fashion it with your own two hands. So know that. So Professor Melly Mill, the Hood Postman, you know the vibe. I'm out.
But let me tell you when the first time I met Randy Washington. Listen to this. This is historical shit right here, homie. All bullshit aside. By this time, in me and Tookie's relationship, I had started carrying a gun. But Tookie's driver, a cat named T-Bone from the west side, lived on 92nd, had a pearl white 68 Chevy on Kragers. That motherfucker was tight. No hydraulics, it just was fucking sitting on fucking 20 Kragers. Pearl white, with the bullets, pearl white. That was Tookie's like driver. So on Sundays, we banked the Centennial Park, but I carried a gun. So it'd be him driving, Took, and me in the back with the burner, big ass police 38. I had already had like 2 bodies, but